Hey, what's up, friends? Moses here from Driver Success. I hope and pray that you guys are doing well. So as I promised in the last video, I just want to continue with the same topic. I know in the last video we were talking about what were we talking? We talked about trip planning. Again, what inspired this was an accident that happened to one of our drivers who had stopped on the side of the freeway, and then as they were trying to march back into onto the freeway, an accident happened. Somebody hit him, and that car caught on fire, and the person died. And so it looks like it was. I'm not saying it was the driver's fault, but it looks like maybe the way he was merging in wasn't right. And I say that because I have also seen it. I've seen drivers, like who merge into traffic because they've been on the side of the freeway, and then they just merge into traffic, and you can tell they are not doing it right. And so I did promise that I will I will give you an idea of how to do it. Because one of the things that happens is as we go through training, there are things that come up that we will learn, and then there are things that we can never learn because they didn't come up during training. So we kind of learn by experience. So what I want to do is to share with you what happens if that ever happens to you. Maybe to you it may be an emergency. For this particular driver, it wasn't really such an emergency. Yes, it could have been an emergency that he really needed to go, but depending, again, I don't want to say because I don't know the whole situation. Maybe he could have planned better, as we said in the last video. But I just want to look at it from the side of an emergency. One of the things that happens a lot to us is tire blowouts, especially during the summer months, right? Because of the heat, most of our trailer tires are recaps, which means that there is they just kind of put treads on top of old tires, right? And so when there is that heat and friction during the summer months, that tread will kind of peel off. Sometimes you'll find them in roads when there's a tire blowout, and you find pieces of big, like tires, trailer tires in the road. It's because that recap came apart. So just using that as an example, if you are a new driver, like you went through your training, nothing like that happened to you, and all of a sudden it happens, it could be something that can take you by surprise, and you may not know what to do. And so that's what I kind of want to give you an idea to show you how to stop and get back on the freeway. And so what you want to do if something like that happens to you is the first thing, of course, is you want to take your foot off of the accelerator, because you have no idea what just happened, right? So you take your foot off of the accelerator, you are like wondering what just happened. So the next thing you want to do is to look in the mirrors. You look in your mirrors to see what is happening in your mirrors around your truck. Depending on where you are, if there's a lot of traffic, of course, you want to see what happened. Did somebody crash into me? Did I hit somebody unknowingly? Did the tire blow up? Did something fall from anywhere? You have no idea. So when you hear that blast or whatever it is, something that is unusual, take your foot off of the accelerator, look in your mirrors and around your truck. At that time, you probably will realize, oh, it's a tire failure. And maybe if you are in a place where there's a lot of traffic, cars are now, some of them are starting to slow down to give you space. Others are changing lanes. Others are trying to drive past you very fast, and so on. So when you figure out what has happened, you want to maybe like put on your hazard, like blinkers, your double indicators, so that you it's kind of like a warning sign to others that something is not right with your truck. So you put those flashers on, and then you are starting to slow down, of course, slowly bringing that truck to a very low speed. Probably you want to be now, you are trying to shoot for about, again, it depends on where you are, but you are probably trying to shoot for around maybe 40 or even under miles per hour, right? And at this time, of course, your next like move is to figure out where am I going to park, right? Because it's an emergency, you need to park. If you are in an area that you know, and you know of a place that you can park, as we talked of in the last video, and it's close by, then that is what you shoot for. That's why I said in the last video that it's important to keep this, to keep yourself, like searching for such places. And the mind is amazing. You just keep on storing that information. When you need it, that information is going to come back to you. But let's say you are in a place that you don't know, right? You don't know where to park. You don't know where you are. You have no idea what is a safe place. At that time, all you are thinking about is to find a safe place. And by safe place, I mean that you should be safe, right? When you park, you should be safe, and nobody's going to run into you. That means that the public should be safe, because when you park in such a way that people can easily see you without running into you, then that's a safe place. You also want at this point to even think, you're going to be thinking about the person who is coming to fix that tire. So let's say for this example that maybe the tire is on the driver's side, right? The trailer tire driver's side. That means whoever is going to fix that tire is going to be like on the side where the traffic is. That means the most space you are going to need, maybe like on the shoulder or something like that. So as you drive, again, as you are looking for the space, the thing that you also want to pay attention to, depending on where you are, you want to pay attention to what mile markers and what exits you are passing, right? Because when you get that, when you stop and you are calling for help, they're going to ask you for where are you, right? Because for them to come and help you, they need to know where you are. So you don't want to park and then call, and then they ask you where are you, and then you are wondering where are you, and you don't know where you are. So as you've slowed down and you're starting to look for that place, all that information has to be something that you are thinking of. You are thinking of a place where you're going to be safe, the public is safe, the technician that is coming to fix you is going to be safe while they change that tire, and you want to know where you are. If you're in a place where there are even some maybe like land, what do they call them? Like land. I don't know why I'm for landmarks. I was thinking of landmines. Landmarks, right? It may be a landmark. It may be maybe like if you are in a congested place. It may be maybe like even important. No, not important. I forget the word I'm looking for, like something that is well known, maybe like a Walmart, a Costco. Like look for all that information because it can come in handy. But mostly if you can know, of course, the highway you are on, the mile marker or exits and exit numbers, then that will help you. I'll make another video talking about, like mile markers and exit numbers, because I'm just realizing some people that are new may not know this stuff. So I will make another video about that. But those are things that you want to pay attention to. So as you park, as you are going to, as you are looking for that place, one of the things that you want to think about is not just stopping. You want to think about getting back, right? So it's not just that you are looking for a place where to stop. You want to think about a place when you get back on the freeway. How easy is it going to be to you? And the way to determine which space is really going to be good for you is going to depend on a couple of things. And what I want to do is I'm going to pull up Google Earth right here, right? Let's go to Google Earth, and I'm just going to pick a random place to see if we can get an idea of like what to do. Okay, I don't know what place should we pick. Just let me just. Okay, this says Wyoming. Okay, let's go with Wyoming. Let's go right there. Let's see. Let's just pick any highway, right? Let's say we are on this highway, the 80. Oh, well, yeah, let's go with the 80. So what you want to do is, when you are on the highway, remember it said, I think I talked about, like on-ramps and off-ramps. One of the things that you want is the best places you can find. I just picked this random place. I don't know where this is. I know it's on the 80, that's what it says. But you see this, just to help you understand what we mean by easy off and on ramp. This is what is called an easy off and on. In other words, you can get off the freeway and then maybe like you just cross and then you get back on. There are actually some exits that don't even have anything. It's just like as if it's there just for people to get off and take a rest and then get on. So this one right here is what we call an easy off and on ramp. Now, one of the best places to stop are those. If you can find a good off and on ramp, the reason why it is safe is you are off of the freeway. You are like off the freeway, so you're not worried about traffic. And the people that are coming off of that freeway are probably reducing their speed, of course. They're no longer on highway speeds. And especially if you can cross over to the on ramp, that is even better, because the people that are coming from the surface streets right here have not yet started speeding. So usually in such cases, the on ramp is even way better than the off-ramp, because the off-ramp people, even though they are reducing their speed, they are still coming fast. But on the on-ramp, people are just starting. They're coming from, like the surface streets, so they haven't yet gotten to that speed. But what you want to do, let's try and look at this. So what you want to do is when you get off, then you want to go on the shoulder. As you can see here, on the shoulder, let's try and get this man here and see if we can look at this. All right. You see, like here, you want to get on the shoulder. So you want to get off of the freeway and you want to park on the shoulder. Now, if you look at this, this that I just pulled up, you see how it looks like there was a truck here, because I can see here, you see those markings. Now, I want you to be very careful and avoid, as much as possible, try and avoid letting your trailer tires go onto the ground, because sometimes the shoulders, if you let your trailer tires go off, those shoulders, you don't know how soft they are. I personally know of somebody who was in that situation where the truck ended up rolling because it was a soft ground. So be very, very careful. I never let my tires go onto the soft shoulders unless I know. And the way I know that is because I've seen trucks. Maybe it's a place where I see trucks, and I can tell it's a solid ground. But like here, you see this guy here, I think he made it way out fine, but you can tell it's a soft ground. So as much as possible, try to avoid that, because you don't want to get off and then be stuck and end up rolling the truck. So as much as possible, you want to find a place that has enough shoulder where all your tires are still on the pavement. So if you end up getting off using an exit, that is one of the best ways. But if you can't get off, right, you stay on the freeway, right? Let's say you are not sure of which one is a good exit, right? You don't know if it's an on and off exit. So let's just look for another place. Let's say right here, right? So we are going to stop and we decide we are going to stop maybe somewhere here, right? On the freeway. What you want to do again is kind of the same thing. What you are looking for, you see like here, this is a very good place, by the way. The way I chose this one. This looks to be wide enough. So this is a very good example, because as you can tell, this seems to be like a place even trucks, I think, probably stop by, maybe, because it looks like it's wide. It looks like it's wide. So what you want is, you are looking for places that have wide enough space where you can be able to get off and still have good space on this side, whereby when you get out your triangles and place them and your technicians come to fix you, they will have enough space. Everything will be, they won't be like very close to the road. I'm failing to put this thing behind. I'm forgetting how to do this. But this right here is a good space, right? The other thing that, again, as I said, when you are stopping, don't just think of stopping. Think about getting back on the freeway. Again, this is going to depend on where you are. Whether you are in a congested place or you are in a place where there's not a lot of traffic. Like this place here doesn't look like there's a lot of traffic. Even, I don't know where the guy that got into the accident was. I'm thinking on the 35 coming from Oklahoma. Yes, it's a little bit busy, but not that busy like you would be like for us local guys who are in towns where like the traffic is a lot. So what you want to think about, in addition to, like the mile markers and exits, when you find a place that you're going to stop, think of the place you have ahead of you. Because, again, coming back to merging back onto the freeway, when it's time for you to merge back on the freeway, you don't want to start the truck and get back into the freeway. What you want to do is you want to have, I'm going to call it a runway. I'm just calling it a runway as in like, like how aeroplanes are when they're on the tarmac and they're ready to take off, like when they're at that start line, the pilot calls in and then they tell them they are ready to go to take off. They will start moving that plane and picking up speed. And so they pick up speed, and when they have enough speed, they pull the rudder and off they go, right? So it's kind of like the same thing. Think of your truck as having a runway ahead of you. What you want when you are stopping is to think about that. You want to make sure that you have enough space ahead of you, in that when you start moving, before you merge back into traffic, you are going to first stay on the shoulder and let that truck gain some speed. The trucks are really heavy, and so they're not like small cars where they just gain speed right away. It takes time for that, for momentum for acceleration to kick in to overcome, that weight. So you want to think of the space you have ahead of you, and so when it's time to get into the freeway, you want to look at your mirrors and gauge the traffic. You want to see what is the traffic like, how heavy or how light, how fast are they moving, what kind of gaps do they have in between them. And so you are going to sit there before you start moving and first, assess that situation. What is the traffic like? At what speed are they moving? What are the gaps between them? Because you are going to use that situation to figure out which gap you want to take advantage of. Now, based on what you see in the mirror, while those cars are still back there, remember your hazard lights are still on. You are just ready to go, right? But your hazard lights are still on. You never take those off. You look, and then when you take your time, don't be in a hurry, don't try to be aggressive. Even if there's a lot of traffic, be patient, because this vehicle that you have is an instrument that could cause a lot of damage. Some of the drivers out there, they don't know what we are dealing with. They don't know the dynamics of this vehicle. So you are the professional, you are the one in charge, you are the adult in the room. You are going to take your time and just assess your situation. Remember, it's your responsibility to stay safe and to keep those people safe. So when you figure out which space you are going to take advantage of, what you want to do is now to start rolling, right? Just based on your calculation, you're going to start rolling, not to merge back into the lane. You're going to start rolling on the side. What is going to happen is, out there are some people that are paying attention and are kind enough that they will start moving from this lane right here that is close to you, and they will start merging into the other lane that is away from you, so they can give you that space. Even when they do that, don't be in a hurry to just jump in. Again, that's why you need some good runway, because you want to still give yourself that momentum. So when you have enough space, then you are going to slowly, and you've gained up enough speed, you are going to keep on merging in slowly. The thing to remember is this: don't assume that people are going to move from this lane to the other lane. Don't make that assumption. When you decide to start rolling and before you merge back, make all your calculations assuming that nobody's going to give you space. Now, people are kind, they will move over and give you space. That will work to your advantage. But don't feel like you are entitled to that space, right? Just assume that those people are not going to give you space. So when you make that decision, make the best decision based on assuming that people are not going to let you in. But thankfully, 95% of the people are good people. They will let you in. Other people may be good, but they may be distracted. Maybe they're on their phone. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're sleeping. So that's why you don't want to assume. But again, the whole idea here that I'm saying is make sure when you stop, you pick a good space. When it's time, and by picking a good space, I'm saying that let it be wide enough for you to be able to stop, be safe, and have enough space for the technician to work on you. When it's time for you to get back in, have enough space as a runway for you to move, to start moving, so you can pick up space before you start merging in. And when you are merging in, don't assume that people are going to, move over for you. Don't have that entitlement where you feel like, oh, people should move over. No, just act as if nobody's going to move over. When you make that decision, based on what you saw, based on the traffic, how many people are coming, what kind of gaps they have, you make the best decision. Now, the good thing is that people will move over most of the time, so it will even be easier for you. So when that happens, you imagine, leave those hazard lights on until at least you are above 50 miles per hour. Like everybody now has probably seen you. You are now kind of catching up to the speed of the freeway, and then you can take those hazard lights off after everything is settled. So I know that it's kind of been a long video, but I hope that helps you out. One other thing probably I need to show you. Let me show you something else. Again, let's look for an exit here. And I show you something. Okay, this exit, is this the one we saw? No, this is a different one now. Okay, let me show you something else also that I want to show you. So for example, you found an exit, right? But you are not sure if that is an easy on and off exit. You are wondering, does it have an off and on ramp? Again, I still want to show you why I like you shooting for exits. Look at this right here. So if you look at this, this thing is playing me. Okay, so let's try and look at it from here. If you look at this exit right here, the way they make the exits, right, they usually have a little bit of wider space. Whether you are getting off, usually they kind of have wider spaces, sometimes even like right here, somewhere like, I don't know why this thing is not showing me what I want. Okay, I don't know why, but if you look like right here, there's a little bit of wide space, right? This is the freeway, this is the exit, but as you can see, starting from somewhere here, they kind of open. This place is sometimes wide. So usually around exits, they usually have wide spaces. That is both on the off and on the on ramp. Even when you go like right here, usually they will have bigger spaces right here. This place right here, so that it could be easy for you to come. Usually they have bigger spaces here where you can be able to park. So exits are really good places to shoot for. But sometimes they even have shoulders where you have good space. But I hope that helps you, to show you like looking for good spaces, remembering where you are, and thinking about how you are going to march back by giving yourself enough runway so that you can be able to march back in safely, not just merging right away, but first picking up the momentum, first accelerating on the shoulder before you merge in. So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, things that you want me to cover, just send me an email, moses@driversuccess.com. You can text me 877 Moses 50. For those of you that want to be part of the JB Hunt team, we are hiring experienced and those out of trucking school. As long as you have your CDL, then we will consider you. For those of you that are out of training, out of CDL school and are looking for training, I just want you to know that training is not everywhere. It's just in some locations. So it depends on where you are. But if we have something open in your area, and then we will be able to hire you if you meet all the requirements. Those of you that have at least 3 months experience, then chances are if we have openings, you should be able to come on. Again, just send me an email. Texting and email is a little easier on me. I know some of you call me. It's very hard. I'm kind of busy. So it becomes hard for me to answer calls. The best, if you really have to talk to me, the best thing to do again is text me or email me and let me know the best time or day to call, and I'll do my best if I can to get back to you. Some of you, if you are really lucky enough, you could be able to get me on the phone when I have some time. But the best way to reach out is through text and email, and then I'll do my best to answer those. So hopefully that helps. Until next time, stay blessed and stay safe. Bye-bye.